An underwater kingdom wants its residents classified. The shark mentioned that he belongs with the sea turtles and seals because they are all aquatic. According to the jellyfish, she belongs with the clownfish and butterfly fish because they are all fishes. The octopus thought the sea snail and squids were to be grouped with him, as they are a part of the same family. The dolphin thought that he should be grouped with other mammals and therefore belonged with the walrus and whale. Which creature is correct? We'll find out in the end. Life is immensely diverse with so many of us and so many differences. Without being placed into specific groups, it would be extremely confusing and hard to differentiate among organisms. The world would be so chaotic. However, thanks to taxonomists for helping to prevent the confusion. These special people who group living things have found a way to do so by a process called classification. Firstly, how do you know if something is a living thing or not? We don't mean if it is alive or dead. We are talking about a group of organisms with similar characteristics. These are organisms that can respire, grow, excrete, feed, move, reproduce, and respond to changes in the environment. And key thing, an organism that's a living thing must show all these characteristics. After being considered a living thing or not, life is then divided into 3 domains. These are archaea, bacteria, and eukarya. Organisms that are eukarya have a nucleus and have multiple cells that make them up. Both archaea and bacteria are one-celled and have no nucleus. However, while bacteria can be found almost anywhere, archaea live in extreme environmental conditions like in hot springs and geysers. Then there are the kingdoms. Kingdom Plantae, consisting of green plants that can make their own food. Kingdom Animalia of multicellular organisms that depend on other organisms for food. Kingdom Fungi, which are also multicellular organisms, but they absorb nutrients from organic matter. Kingdom Protista consists of unicellular organisms with a nucleus, and of course there are Kingdom Archaea and Kingdom Bacteria. In Kingdom Plantae, plants are further classified as flowering and non-flowering. Flowering plants are those that reproduce using seeds and flowers. Non-flowering plants can either be ferns, mosses, conifers, or algae, whereas flower plants can be monocots or dicots. What does this mean? Well, monocots have one seed leaf, long and thin leaves with parallel veins, and these plants have a bunch of tiny roots, and their flowers usually have petals in sets of 3. Dicots, on the other hand, have 2 seed leaves, broad leaves with netted veins, 1 main root, and their flowers usually have petals in sets of 5. Now let's talk about Kingdom Animalia. You first have to consider if the animal has a backbone or not. If it does, it is a vertebrate. If it doesn't, it is an invertebrate. Invertebrates are grouped into being colinterrates if they have sac-like bodies and tentacles surrounding the mouth like a jellyfish. Echinoderms if they are usually hard, spiny and bony with 5 feet or body parts like the starfish. Annelids if they are worms. Yes, annelids are worm-like and they have no feet. Mollusks if they live in shells have soft and slimy bodies and muscular feet like the snail. And arthropods if they have a hard outer exoskeleton and have varying numbers of legs and body segments. Now, the numbers of legs and body segments vary, so this is still confusing. They need more specific grouping. As such, arthropods are further grouped into being crustaceans for those with 10 or more legs and 2 pairs of antennas, just like a lobster. Myriapods for those that have a lot of body parts with each part carrying a pair of legs. These are scary beasts like the centipede. Arachnids for those with 2 body parts and 4 pairs of legs like a spider. And insects like the ant, having 3 body parts and 3 pairs of legs. Now, let's not forget those animals with backbones, our vertebrates. Vertebrates are subdivided into fishes if they breathe using gills, are aquatic, and have scales and fins to help them to swim. These organisms lay eggs, and they do not care for their young. For example, the goldfish. The amphibians have slimy, damp skins that they use to help them in breathing. The adults who live on land also use their lungs in this process, and the young, tadpoles, are aquatic and use gills in breathing. These organisms, like the fish, lay eggs but do not care for their young. Reptiles, unlike amphibians, have dry, leathery skin. They live on land and use their lungs to breathe. They also lay eggs, but they at least care for them before they are hatched. They have 4 legs except for snakes. Birds have wings, beaks, and feathers. Some would argue that they can all fly. Some just fly for long distances while others can only fly for short distances, whereas others would argue that not all birds can fly. Some can and some cannot. What do you say? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thankfully, though birds lay eggs, they actually care for their young before and after birth. Mammals give live birth and the young are usually breastfed after birth. Like birds, mammals care for their young before and after birth. Some mammals are aquatic like the seal, the walrus, the whale and dolphins, and others are terrestrial, like us. Mammals tend to carry 4 limbs, 2 of which are the wings in bats. So there you have it, classification simplified for you. Now, back to the underwater kingdom. So, who was right? Surely it can't be the shark because the shark himself is a fish. Sea turtles are reptiles and the seals are mammals. What about jellyfish, who is a coenterate? She doesn't even have a backbone and is clearly not a fish. This leaves us with the octopus and the dolphin, who are both correct. Octopuses, sea snails, and squids are aquatic mollusks. Dolphins, walruses, and whales are all mammals. So these 2 sets of animals can indeed be grouped into mollusks and mammals in the kingdom. For more informative content, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned until next time.